is Heather from Strings and Threads. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. I've been on Wednesday making wearables, so I've been calling it Wearable Wednesday. I've never felt comfortable making wearables, so when New Year came around, I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I kind of said, I'm going to try and get over this hurdle. And so in January, I just started something called Wearable Wednesday, where I would work on a wearable throughout the week, and then I would show my progress every Wednesday, and then I'd let you know how I liked it. Now, this doesn't mean that I will have a completed project every Wednesday, but it just means that I'll get on every Wednesday and talk about my current project. I'm just going to find something that I want to try, work on it throughout the week, and then just work on it at my pace until it's finished. So I did complete one this week, and I am wearing it. I finished it I'll do a full view later, but I finished it last night, and I wore it to work today. So I have to tell this backstory. I have told this story before, so I'm sorry if it's a repeat for some of my friends who've watched before, but this backstory will explain kind of where I'm coming from with these. When I first started to learn how to knit and crochet, it was like the early 2000s. My mother-in-law had taught me, and I had made myself something that was wearable. I don't even remember the specific thing. It was probably a shawl or probably just some simple top, because I was just learning, and I had made it and I felt really proud of it, so I wore it to work. And one of my coworkers said, "Oh, did you make that?" I was like, "Yeah, I did, thanks." And she's like, "Well, I'm not trying to be mean, but if someone asks you, did you wear that? It means it looks bad, and it doesn't look as good as something you would get at the store. So it's not really a compliment if someone says, did you make that?" And so I understand that she was being mean, and that wasn't a nice thing to say. I do realize that, but I still kind of listened to that a little bit, and I was like, okay, so maybe there's a slight little bit of truth to that. If something is so obviously looking homemade that it just doesn't look good. So I've kind of been a little bit sensitive about that. If I have a hat on that I make, I'm not worried about people saying, "Oh, did you make that?" But with wearables, I get a little bit sensitive about that. And so today I went into work, and I have one coworker who watches my channel. Hi. I won't say her name in case she doesn't want me to say it, but she said, "Oh, is that the shirt that you made?" Because I've been showing it on the channel. And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And then everybody around her was like, "Oh, you made that shirt? Oh my gosh." So I actually kind of felt like, oh wow, maybe this one is a keeper, and I felt good about it myself anyway, but it just kind of verified to me that it was a winner. So like I said, I'll show you the full view in a minute here, but I wanted to tell you what the pattern was, and I will list the pattern in the description. It's a free pattern. I really like it. I would probably make this again, but I might try different yarns with it. I might even try different stitches, because they give you the basic shape of how you make it, and it probably doesn't really even matter what stitches you put in after that, although I really do like the stitches that they used with this. This pattern called for the bamboo cotton blend, but when I priced out how much I was going to need, I was like, let me see if I can find a replacement. There is a link that you can go online and look for replacement yarns. You can say, what's a good replacement for thus and such yarn? And then it'll give you a list. So what I did end up finding that they had on the list, it was the same weight yarn, and it was a lot better price. In fact, it was half, if not even cheaper than half the price of using it with the bamboo yarn, the bamboo cotton blend yarn. And this was Lion Brand Comfy Cotton Blend. It's machine wash and dry, which is really nice. This is really, really, really comfortable material. I felt comfortable in this all day. I didn't feel like, oh, I need to get home and get out of this. In fact, I want to wear it all night. I am really excited that this shirt worked out. I do have to say that it is a little warm. Like, I wasn't hot in it, but I could not see myself wearing this in the summer months. So the name of the pattern is Poncho-Style Summer Crochet Top. I probably wouldn't wear it at all in the summer unless I was in a really cool area. I would probably call this more like a spring and fall sweater, or Poncho-Style summer top. And this is how it looks. There's no glare on it. It's just the way the picture is. Maybe because I folded it in half, I'm not sure. And now I will turn the camera around so that you can see the whole thing on me. I was just playing around with the camera to see the best view. It's going to be hard to see the details, I think, when I step back. That's why I'm not being weird. Well, I am being weird. I'm always weird. But I'm just trying to show you what some of the stitches look like before I step back. You know, before I step back and you don't see the detail. But this was super comfy. I did bring it up a little bit more than she did. She had it a little bit lower cut. But of course, I'm not like model-esque body where, you know, I can look good like that. You know, covering up is a little bit more appropriate for me. But I love the details in this. I love the way the sleeves turned out. I love the different design on the side. I love the design here. I did wear a shirt, like a tank underneath. It might be a little bit too lacy to wear by itself, but then it just depends on you and what you feel comfortable with. I could see that other people might be okay without having something underneath, but I tend to be a lot more modest and not showing stuff, even when I was younger and thin, but you know, that's just kind of my personality. So I'm going to turn it back and I'm going to talk about the next pattern. So there are two channels, Crochet HD and Nina's Knots, that are doing something called Tank N Tees 2023. I'm going to list the hashtag down below. It's Tank and then the letter N and then Tees and then 2023 hashtag. But anyway, if you want to find out more about that, I'll list the two channels and I'll list the hashtag down below. So I thought that I would make their pattern that they were recommending. I think that you can make any summer top, so I might send in a picture of this one as well as the one that they recommended. So like I said, they had one that they recommended, but then I heard them saying that you could really make any kind of summer top. And what you do is you make it, you wear it, and you send them a picture of it. And then I think the end of June is when they're ending it, and sometime early July, they're going to do a drawing for prizes. I wasn't really like, I mean, if I won a prize, that would be great, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I still want to try and get better at wearables. And I saw that Lynn from Nina's Knots, she had made this pattern and she was wearing it. And I thought, oh my gosh, that looks gorgeous. Because in the picture, you know, it's hard to tell, especially when they have somebody who's like young and thin modeling the things. It's hard to tell how that might look up close. But I thought that it looked really pretty and really flattering on Lynn. So I'm excited to try it myself. Here's a picture of it. It's called Easy Crochet Tank Top by Cactus and Lace Designs. And I'll list, this is a free pattern. I'll list it in my description. I don't know why I moved my face closer. You don't need to see a close-up of my face. The picture cut off some of it. I'm going to do it all in one color. Now, I am going to have to make a modification. As much as I would love to use all these beautiful yarns that all of these patterns call for, in reality, I don't even, you know, I don't spend that money on clothes for myself. And so I had to find a different alternative. You know, I'm not a big channel. I don't have yarn sponsors. And so all the money that I use to buy yarn comes from my family budget. So I don't want to be wild and crazy. So this pattern calls for Kaboo yarn, which I forgot to look up what it is. It is some kind of cotton blend, and it might be cotton bamboo, but it looks beautiful. It looks like it would be really nice to work with. It's size 3, so for my size I would need 1,000 yards according to the pattern. So I went to Michael's just to price it out because I was curious, and a skein of Kaboo yarn is 232 yards. So I would need 5 skeins. It would be 4 and some, so I would have to buy 5 of them. At Michael's, now I don't know, I didn't like run all over Creation to price it out everywhere, but at Michael's it was $10.74 a skein. So for me to make the top would be $53.70. And that just seemed really expensive to me. So I did end up going with Premier Just Cotton. I know it's a different blend and it will have a different feel, but I still think that the top is going to turn out nice. And for me to get 1,000 skeins of this cost me $11. So there's the difference. And, you know, I know you get what you pay for with things. I do understand that. But, you know, like I said, maybe someday if this channel gets bigger and yarn companies would ever want to sponsor me, then I can use really nice yarns on things. But until then, I have to make do with what's in the family budget. So I'm excited to get started with this. I have not started it yet because I only just finished this one last night. And so I will give you an update next week with how far I was able to get on this top. And if you'd like to join in, or if you would like more information about Tanks and Tees 2023, go on over and visit with either Nina's Knots, like I said, I'll list their channels below, or Crochet DHD, and they'll let you know what all you need to do. I'm just kind of jumping on their bandwagon. I'm not a leader of that. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.